My mother kept trying to make me miscarry my baby, so I told my dad what she was doing at their vow renewal. My mother started her campaign like it was her personal mission. Monday, she slipped castor oil in my prenatal smoothie. Wednesday, she called my OB pretending to be me canceling appointments. Friday, she threw away my prenatal vitamins and replaced them with regular ones. The pharmacy probably recognized her voice better than her own husband did. Things got worse as my first trimester turned into my second, and her attempts went from sneaky to actually dangerous. First, she called my job and said I was using drugs while pregnant. HR made me take a drug test right away even though I was clean, but people had already started whispering about me. 2 weeks later, during my baby shower, she called CPS about an unfit mother. A social worker showed up with cops ready to investigate and found me opening gifts with 30 guests. The caseworker didn't find anything, but she went on Facebook saying I was probably unfit. The worst thing happened in my 5th month when I had Braxton Hicks contractions at her house. She called 911 and said I was overdosing. The paramedics showed up ready for a drug emergency and found me having normal pregnancy symptoms. EMT Rodriguez said something about her false reports, but nothing happened to her. She started scheduling family dinners during my prenatal appointments on purpose. Other relatives told me she kept notebooks full of reasons why I shouldn't have this baby with dates and everything. She actually bragged to people about knowing how to handle situations like mine. Everything went crazy on a Tuesday in my 6th month when I got a letter from her lawyer wanting custody rights. She said I was an unfit mother even though the baby wasn't even born yet. I tried to talk to her like a normal person, but she said she'd add defamation to the lawsuit. That same day, my boyfriend Marcus came to our first ultrasound to find out the gender. While we were quietly looking at our healthy baby boy, she called security about a dangerous black man in the building. Security surrounded us, and both Marcus and I were terrified. The ultrasound tech was so upset she started crying. The doctor said he'd never seen anything like it in 20 years. I held Marcus while he asked why my own mother hated him and our son. That night, I saw her vow renewal invitations online, and the event talked about celebrating family values. I spent the next week looking at the guest list and realized she'd invited everyone important. She'd hired a fancy event planner and paid for catering, which meant she wanted the perfect image. Her invitations kept talking about how family and tradition meant everything. I figured out her vow renewal was her weak spot since she needed everyone's approval to maintain her reputation. Every relative coming to celebrate was a chance to show them what she'd really been doing. I made a group chat and found out she'd been telling lies to 5 other family members about me. We looked up the harassment laws and found out what she was doing was totally illegal. Recording her attempts to harm my pregnancy was completely legal and protected. I figured out her schedule and got the other relatives to help me document everything. Her first attempt that week started at 9 when she put something in my orange juice. My cousin filmed while I poured it out and she screamed that I was wasting food. My mother texted everyone saying I was mentally unstable, but 3 relatives saw her grinding pills. The next week, I scheduled my glucose test during her book club, and she mysteriously showed up. We recorded her telling the nurse I had gestational diabetes when I didn't. When she had 5 church friends coming for Thursday dinner, we all wore body cameras. She spent the whole meal talking about mixed babies while Marcus sat right there. Her texts got more and more desperate as people started noticing her behavior. First, she wrote, "Please stop. Then I'll drop everything. Then I'm begging you." We just kept documenting and protecting my pregnancy. Sunday came with her biggest attempt yet, and she completely lost it. She pushed me down the stairs, but my cousin caught it all on video. The relatives who saw it asked my father about what was happening. I told them calmly that she'd been trying to hurt my baby for 6 months just because Marcus is black. Memorial Day weekend was her vow renewal with 200 guests in attendance. My mother wore white lace and smiled like the perfect wife and mother. My father stood beside her glowing with pride about their 30 years together. The pastor asked if anyone wanted to share memories before they renewed their vows. I stood up 7 months pregnant with Marcus beside me, and my phone connected to the venue's speaker system. The first recording played of her saying she'd rather see me dead than with a black baby. The room went completely silent as recording after recording filled the ballroom. Her face went from white to red as her own voice echoed saying the N-word about my unborn son. Full story on channel linked below.